Okay, we are live. Hi, this is William Ramsey. Welcome to William Ramsey Investigates. On today's show, I have a very special guest. His name is Sam Chaney. Last name is spelled Chaney. It's not that other Chaney. So just, in your mind, think an A is in there. I've been on this show 3 or 4 times to talk about it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, X, Rumble, or Rockfin, you'll see his website. He operates Weaponized News. And we kind of hooked up over COVID. Like, he was a really great COVID researcher. So he has a lot of information on his website. Check it out. He's accumulated so much information that really has an egalitarian sensibility. Like, we're trying to fight against all these horrible, this horrible agenda and things like that. But I was on his show talking about these Epstein files. This is just like on the 18th, so not that long ago. And we talked for 2 hours, but I feel like we just kind of, scratched the surface. So I invited him back to talk today. I had a working title on this, but I think his title's better. His title's better than mine, and he has a PDF thing that we're going to show. But it's his title is "The Scientific Interest Masked an Occult Agenda," and I think that's more accurate than mine saying "Dark Shadows." The last one we titled was "MK Ultra, Epstein, and the Occult." And it's still there. There's just more and more information coming out, more symbolism people are understanding. And it's still, we were talking in the pre-show. This is like one of the most important stories of my lifetime, if not the most. Maybe 9/11 was, or COVID, I guess. There's like these huge events, but this is one of them. But this is the opposite, where the kind of inside stuff behind the curtain is exposed to the public. And I think it's still showing it. My social media is just crazy, like crazy interest. I posted this thing about a infant, soundgram or whatever it was, ultrasound, and like 1 million people watched it today, or 500,000 or something. I posted it this morning, and it's like, why is this in the Epstein files? There's a lot of questions, still people still putting stuff together. I'm still learning, but Sam has a presentation, and he set aside 2 hours, so I'm glad to have him. So Sam Chaney, welcome to the show. You there, Sam? Can you hear me? I think he's trying to figure out his stream. He's trying to restream this, but I don't know.
I'm here, William.
Okay, sorry. Welcome to the show. For people who haven't heard your work or your name, maybe you can talk a little bit about your background to people who aren't familiar with you, and then we can just kind of go into your PDF. Sam, you there? Can you hear me? Can you thumbs
William,
up?
I'm going to first start by thanking you for having me on your show, and I appreciate all of your, the audio's screwed up here.
Okay, there might be a lag or something.
Anyway, I'm going to end my stream because it's screwing up the audio. Anyhow. Okay, forget it.
Okay, I'll send you the whole
Okay,
file.
William, sorry about that.
I'll ask you again, maybe you could hear this, is like, for people who don't know your name or Weaponized News, maybe you can talk about your background, Sam, and then your work on Weaponized News. Like, you really stream every day Pacific, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 Pacific time. So people check out those streams. They're really important. But maybe you can talk a little bit about your background, Sam. Looks like there's still a delay. So do you want to log out and log back in?
Okay, I think I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, loud and clear. Loud and clear. I think he also uses Restream.
Yeah, let me log out and log back in. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Anyway, Sam and I have done a lot of shows. I tried to impart that, but during COVID, we're locked down and stuff like that. But he's really he's in the alternate media and kind of not involved in this huge machine. We're kind of talking the pre-show how everything's kind of changed around in the alternate media. A lot of things have moved, even in the time that I've known Sam. Things have moved around in the alternate media in ways that are very different. Like, really big names have moved in, like Tucker Carlson wasn't always around, who I'm on the fence about, Candace, and all these other figures, but things have changed a lot. Are you there? Can you hear me loud and clear? Is
I'm
everything
here now. I'm still trying to get it together. Sorry.
okay? No worries. Take your time. But like how things have changed, even in this kind of short amount of time. Like I've only been a host maybe 4 years or something like that. And even in that short amount of time, there's much more interest in the alternate media, I guess, or the podcast space. And it's really changed. A lot of very new people are around. Like when I was coming up, I was in that small kind of, background. I was on I worked for Ed Opperman, and I was also on Keith Hansen's Visigoth. So it was very small, and now it's like an industry or so much advertising and billions of dollars and so really celebrity. I don't know if people were like celebrity hosts, but they are now. There's no question with all these podcast, awards and all this stuff like that. So it's really changed the entire topography of all that stuff. But this, guys, check out Weaponized News when you get a chance. He's listening to the stream and not the Zoom. Yeah, that's it. Welcome everybody. I had a huge.
Now, William.
Okay, you're good to go. I was just kind of droning on there. We had a huge show the other night when we did. Actually, it was last night. It feels like it's so long ago, but we had like 600 live listeners, so probably get a lot of interest in this one. So Sam, welcome to the show.
Cool. So apologies, I had to straighten out my audio, but I think it's straight now, and we are streaming on my channel. So
great. You sound good. So I'll ask again for maybe you didn't hear. Maybe you can. I was talking about Weaponized News, the shows we've done, COVID. Maybe you can talk about your background, your activism, Weaponized News, and then we can get into the Epstein scientific program.
Sure. Thank you for having me on, William. And I appreciate you and all the other researchers looking into this dark occultism, because, man, looking at this stuff, it just makes you sick, and it's very hard. And so you have to have a strong heart and faith in God, honestly, to look at this stuff and not go crazy. So I appreciate all of your work, all of your books, your interviews with all of your great guests, because it takes a strong heart to look at this stuff, man. It's dark. It is dark and evil.
It's very dark and very evil. Like this guy becomes more evil the more you look at him. Like his knowledge base with like the NLP, we talked about mind control at the intro, and it's just incredible how he's a nexus point of all this stuff. And I'm starting to see more dark evil stuff like this Tesseract I was telling you about, which I can go over with you. But for people who don't,
let me give you my background a little bit. I am officially, I have a degree from California State University of Fresno in accounting and economics. And I started waking up to this stuff because all the corruption actually in our government. I worked in public health at a nonprofit for about 6-7 years. And I saw it from the inside there when they passed Obamacare. And I was like, man, I don't want any part of this. And I wound up quitting there at the nonprofit. Our mission was to get poor kids health insurance. And going into it, I thought, well, this is a noble cause. We want to get, and then I've come to learn that the major part of that was getting them the miracle juice. And then I saw the corruption from the inside when they started rolling out all this, throwing money at Obamacare rollout. And I quit that job and been researching ever since.
When did you start Weaponized News? Do you have like a time or date?
I want to say 2014.
Yeah, so you go back.
I was broadcasting on AM radio there. I had partners. All my partners left the state of California, and so I no longer have any partners in the endeavor of Weaponized News.
You and I are the holdouts here in the state of California. It's too funny.
That kind of fell apart, but it's just me here now, still doing Weaponized News. And like I said, we did a good year and a half on local AM radio here. This is back we're very fringe at that point, right, in 2014. But I initially joined up with the Tea Party when that whole thing happened, because I was like, man, this Obamacare, it's just all going the wrong way. And I remember conservatives at that time were concerned about the national debt. And I was like, everything's going bad. I see how corrupt it is from the inside, working in public health. And I was like, something's got to change here. Don't vote for me. I don't blame me. I voted for Ron Paul, right? Anyway, I campaigned for Ron Paul both times he ran, and saw that it was just corrupt. They're never going to give him a chance. And so here I am now, trying to broadcast 5 days a week, cutting through all the propaganda.
Yeah. And it's weird too. Like, even the kind of alternate media's changed. Like, Alex Jones is like out on like, I don't know what happened to that guy. It doesn't make a lot of sense anymore. But like the other go-tos and stuff like InfoWars don't feel as reliable anymore, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I can't even listen. I used to listen to Alex almost every day, and now I can't. I haven't listened to him for probably since Trump's second term, because I was like, you're just too much on Trump's jock for me. I can't handle it.
Yeah, I was the same way. I went through a heavy duty Alex Jones thing, like maybe after 9/11. You know, I was a daily junkie. I'd have to be called a junkie, but I've watched his career, and like sometimes they get it right, and sometimes they do a good job over there. But now when he talks, I'm like, you don't even sound like you're attached to like you're doing any actual research anymore yourself or something.
Sounds like they're just spinning government propaganda narratives to me.
Yeah, and that's the dangerous thing. And like this whole MAGA thing and all this movement and the fake rollout of the Epstein files back in last year, March 2025. Remember that with the white binders, you know, hey, most transparent, you know, administration in history. And it's just like, this is sloppy propaganda. It's not even good propaganda. It's like almost like a joke. Like, our propaganda is so bad where you're going to actually know it. And like, I think there was a famous Solzhenitsyn quote where he said, they know they're lying, you know they're lying, but there's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's just like,
William, I have that. I made a custom T-shirt on my website with that exact quote.
Yeah, that's perfect.
From Alexander Solzhenitsyn.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it this day. I mean, I think what we're going to see in the future is that these Bolsheviks are coming back into power. So they'll be back in power. They
created, and I reported on it, I'm sure, and others have too, they created a giant Bolshevik army with the climate corps out of the Obama administration and the Biden administration. They hired and trained over 100,000 climate corps officers.
It's
incredible.
I guess
you could call them. And those are your Bolshevik on the ground shock troops.
Right. I think Podesta oversaw this is hard to actually comprehend, but a $400 billion climate change slush fund, like with no oversight. Like the power is just off the charts.
Remember Biden made him his climate change czar.
Right. I do remember that. Yeah. And this is the guy from the Podesta emails. And this is kind of where it all comes back around again, Sam, is like Pizzagate and the Podesta emails. I need to go back and get all my old research together, because they're starting to overlap, like all these code words, and even some of the people are Podesta-gate to Epstein, that one Rothschild woman. Evelyn de Rothschild, or whatever her name was, the blonde one, is in the Epstein files too. It's incredible. And she was back with Elephantis and his boyfriend. I can't remember his name. But it's like worth going back over again, because like they had a full court press against that too.
Pizzagate's real. Pizzagate is real.
Sure is. This is like a Pizzagate too, but like Pizzagate was like, I don't know how I'd analogize it, like a smaller hill, and this one's like an Everest or something. Like, there's so much more information. But yeah, Pizzagate, I think they did a good job of tamping that out or stamping that out, you know, like minimizing it. That guy went in and he was crazy, and he shot the only thing he shot was the server. He didn't shoot anybody. He shot the server that some people found CSAM in. They didn't even have the term CSAM in it back then. They just called it, you know, child porn. But it's all coming back around again. So there really is this kind of pedo underground, and you know, it comes to the surface. And
William, the Podesta emails, WikiLeaks have never been discredited. They've never been disproven. They just spin it and say, "Oh, you're crazy." It's like, no, go look at the Podesta email WikiLeaks. It's all right there for everyone to see.
That's right. Didn't WikiLeaks have 100% batting average? Like nobody ever could sue them and say that you guys are lying because everything was like factual.
Nothing's ever been
Yeah,
discredited
nothing's
that
been
they put out.
it's never like been discredited in a court of law. They just like in the court of public opinion they won, or if they fought, I guess is probably more accurate. I never discounted because they had that series 7 releases, and then there was the one about Obama and the hot dogs. That was an earlier release than the Podesta, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the guy who died in DC? What was the kid's name from Nebraska? I can't remember.
Seth Rich, right?
Seth Rich, yeah. So that was 2016. It's almost 10 years ago. It's hard to believe.
Remember, he died by robbery, but the thieves didn't take his wallet or his expensive watch.
Yeah, didn't he have a Rolex or something?
Something like this. Expensive watch and cash in his wallet, and they didn't touch either of those, but it was ruled death by robbery, I guess.
Yeah, that's another one that's hard to believe. And you know, now that you see the corruption, they can cover that stuff up. The judges will cover it up, the cops will cover it up, the medical examiner will cover it up. It's actually not that, you know, it's basically Chinatown, like the movie Chinatown. Like it's not implausible. And it's
Chinatown, and they have their select agents that are part of Freemasonry as an operating system, and they go along with whatever is the orders are.
That's right. Whatever the overlords say. And it kind of get that vibe with Epstein. Like we're finding out new terms. Like he had an inner circle. Have you seen these kind of inner circle terms and stuff like that? Where like he had this kind of inner group, and then
9/11 Shadow Commission.
Yeah, the Shadow Commission. Let me see if I can find this one. Like he talks about you're in this first circle. Let me bring this one up. I know that you have slides too, but like it's just like you're seeing that they're talking on like secret society type terms, at least in my opinion. Yeah,
and all kinds of code words coming back up here, and
just
people,
like Pizzagate.
People are posting them, and they're like, "This doesn't make sense." And it's like, well, yeah, it doesn't, because they're speaking in code. You have to put it in the proper context, and then it does make sense.
There's a new one. Have you heard the Oreo one yet?
Oreo? No.
Oreo cookie. I've got your Oreo cookies. Like
no.
He's saying it to like this Rothschild woman, like somebody who's worth billions of dollars, bringing your Oreo cookies to New York. Like, what the hell do you mean? But
yeah, it's obviously code for their whole trafficking. And people also need to remember, he wasn't just trafficking children. He's an international spy, trafficking you name the contraband, and that guy will try to figure out some kind of deal to get it done. Arms, children, drugs, whatever illegal
information, trafficking information too. Yeah,
he trafficked in as a networker, right? He'd say, "I know so and so, and let's hook up and do more evil together."
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's really incredible. I don't think this is the one. There's a different one that they talk about, this first circle thing. But so I mean, but in going all the way back, like he was a like underground, like black market trafficker from the beginning. I think that was it. Oh, here he goes to Reid Hoffman, this guy who runs LinkedIn. He says, "Will Peter Thiel be around? As you said, he was in your first circle." So that's from like Jeffrey Epstein. So he's talking about. So these guys are all in this earlier circle. Thiel's in there. They all kept it quiet. But this is after Epstein has a felony in like 2008 or something like that. So it's just like, what are you guys talking about? Let me see if I can find this Oreo quote. Let's bring up your slides. You ready for your slides?
Sure.
Is this the slaughter of the innocents? It's the massacre of the innocents.
There you go. I started with that. This photo that or this painting that Epstein had commissioned.
Yeah, that's it. Before we go in there, here's this Oreo. Here's the Oreo ice cream stuff. Let's see. This is from 2015, Jeffrey to Ariane de Rothschild. Hey, Rothschild, I have your Oreo ice cream, New York. Like, why does she care? To Ariane Rothschild. Like, I'm coming all the way to New York and I'm bringing you some Oreo ice cream. Like, I can just call somebody. I have a butler or whatever. Like, all those people, they all have private chefs. So who cares? You know? So crazy. Let's go. There it is. There it is right there.
Check. Oh,
Did I lose you?
no, they say my audio is not coming through for some reason.
Okay, I hear you. You're.
No, I know on ours, but I'm saying on the stream. So.
Oh, on the stream. Sorry. It's probably because there's two different programs, StreamYard, and you're running Restream, right?
Yeah, but anyhow, I'm going to kill it and just upload the show afterwards. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, go ahead. I'm just telling my stream I'm going to kill it.
The Massacre of the Innocents is interesting because he deliberately commissioned a 9x9 picture that he could put into Zorro Ranch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very dark part of the Bible. Like, it's in, I think, one of the early chapters of Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew. And it's basically about the massacre of all the children in Bethlehem, right? It's about the massacre of children in Bethlehem. I guess you're busy doing something, but it basically, I mean, I have some stuff like it's. I'm trying to remember where it is. It's Massacre of the Innocents or Slaughter of the Innocents. They basically the biblical quote is I used to have it somewhere, but it's really something else. Like he had some like it's Matthew 2, I think is what it is. But let's see. It's Matthew 2-18 is supposedly what it is, which is when Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. And then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. Voices heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more. So that's something that he had. It's depicted many, many times in like in kind of Western Christian culture. It's just like there's paintings, and the paintings that I think he wanted to have in his in Zorro Ranch was the one by Rubens. So I think that's pretty much it, which is really incredible. But I've had like new Zorro Ranch stuff. Like what was going on Zorro Ranch was just off the charts. Like it's not even believable. But there's so many different reports coming out that it just shows that Zorro Ranch, like people have said Zorro Ranch has been overlooked in the past. And I think the reality is that people didn't know how bad it was. So you can't really blame them. Podesta's, oh yeah, and it ties back into Podesta, all this other weird art and weird spirit cooking and all that stuff like that. But I'll share this one. Like there is an investigation in the state of New Mexico. And are you still there, Sam? Do you want to jump in? You can jump in anytime. I'm just trying.
No, yeah, they announced last week the state of Mexico is going to launch an investigation like 6-7 years too late, looking for 2 dead girls that are allegedly buried there. Is what started the a report of that, which they ignored initially, and so who knows how much evidence is there after all these years.
Yeah, I mean, there's evidence that they knew they wanted to cover up stuff, right? Because once he got indicted in 2018, they ordered 6 55-gallon drums of hydrochloric acid, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, they had time to cover all their tracks, I think, which is, it's just incredible that like Kash Patel is like partying with the U.S. hockey team.
Kash Patel won the gold medal for Epstein cover-ups.
He did. He sure did, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That all this stuff is going on. Like this.
Think of that. Think of that, William. The director of the FBI, when the biggest scandal in the country's history has just broken like 2 weeks ago, is over in Italy drinking beer, acting with the U.S. men's hockey team, acting like he's part of it instead of over here doing his job. They say they just arrested a guy trying to assassinate Trump. You know what I mean? It's just, where are our priorities? And we're not a serious country with these clowns running around.
It's really true. Like he's pounding on a table like a frat boy. Like it's really like it's something else. Screaming.
How's the director of the FBI any part of U.S. men's hockey winning the gold? He's not, but they inject themselves as if they're part of it, and they wrap themselves in the flag, and they're also trying to sell war propaganda through U.S. men's hockey, where they won the gold medal, and they said we want to thank the U.S. military. It's like, what? You know what I mean?
It's crazy. It's just like some of the stuff, it just keeps the craziness rolls on. Like it's really
all this is going on, and we're right on the cusp of a major regional war with Iran, William.
I heard the rumor was it was going to start today or tomorrow. I mean, they put all of the resources surrounding Iran now, and if they pull the trigger, it's going to be a colossal disaster. They're trying to convince the American public that, you know, it's in our best interest. It's not in our interest at all. Like, why are we worried about Iran? We literally we're run by like cannibalistic pedophiles. I would say everything drops. Like, who cares? I'm happy for Persians. I've never met a Persian person I didn't like, actually. I can't say I've met many, but let them just live in peace, you know? Like, what's going on? This is just too much.
Well, the U.S. government is causing legitimate grassroots revolt there by sanctions, by weaponizing the dollar, and then they get on the back of those legitimate grassroots protests, and they weaponize them and send in all these agents of Western intelligence, Mossad, CIA, you name them, right? And then they cause the violence, and they are trying to say, well, that's the reason because Iran put down the protests, and so now we care about the Iranian people. It's just it's a bunch of nonsense.
It is. It's. I mean, it's really a
the
pivot.
three demands, William. The three demands from America and Israel, I guess, are no nuke program for Iran, no ballistic missiles program for Iran, and no proxy armies. And as far as I could tell, Iran is saying they don't want to enrich uranium for nuclear weapons. They want to use it for domestic energy production. They say they will stop funding Hamas, and they will and they're only using their ballistic missile program for defensive purposes. And that's the last reports I saw about where we are in the negotiations. Is there going to be a major U.S. attack on Iran or not?
Right. I mean, it's what if they didn't have missiles, they'd already be destroyed. They'd end up like Syria or something like that. So
right. And how could you expect their proxy armies to disarm? Because as soon as they do, then they have no defense and they will be wiped out. So,
and it's a fulcrum point. It's a pivot point. So if Iran goes down, then the U.S. is there, and then they're pointing stuff at the underbelly of Russia. And the road to China is different. The Silk Road's broken. You know, so all this trade is broken. So there's a lot at stake, and the Russians and the Chinese are not naive about this stuff. And these negotiators, like on the Trump and his coterie, his crew, are some of the most ruthless people. Like, stay on the phone, stay there, and then they'd send bombs and try to kill them. You know,
they did. They did. Israel did kill negotiators in Qatar. Remember that?
I do. I remember that, and I remembered they were supposedly in negotiations with him in 2025,
A couple times they've killed the negotiators, and they say, well, see, they don't want peace. And it's like, you guys just killed their peace negotiators.
Right. No, it's a joke. They had this thing in 2025. They were negotiating, and they said, we're going to negotiate and try to figure this out. And then they bombed them and killed 1,500 people. They basically tried a decapitation strike on the leadership, and they tricked them. It's like the most treacherous, vicious stuff imaginable. So
right now, they're still trying, as far as the reports I saw, still trying this color revolution, regime change, boots on the ground. And I believe if U.S. government decides that has failed, then we'll see airstrikes and the whole arsenal rolled out.
it's a catastrophe. It's just absolutely a catastrophe. There's just nobody wanted it. That's
But
what
it's a good distraction away from Epstein, right? Them pointing the finger back at the government and saying, you guys are so corrupt. You're not okay. We'll just say Iran's evil. They say death to America. Okay, that's all well and good. But now let's look at our own government and what you guys are up to. And Iran can't be worse than our own government at this point.
Way our government's way worse. It's way worse. They're covering up a massive child rape or child trafficking industry. It really has to be seen as an underground industry. There, that I got a document that I think has been around, but it showed that there were, just through J.P. Morgan, there was $1 billion of suspicious exchanges from 2003 to 2016. So that's how much money it was bringing in. And then Epstein took, I think that was his foundation, among the other black market stuff. But then, you had this legit cover of everything. Like, oh, I'm just an investor and I've got my money market funds and all my S&P stuff. But his real foundation, and they haven't figured out how he laundered all that money, but there's just massive money flows coming in. So the incentives for Ian Gillane to operate were extremely high because there's tons of money in that. It's just off the charts. So yeah, the American government's just totally corrupt. It's just absolutely disgusting. I mean, and it doesn't take into account all the crazy stuff. Like there's babies being born and incubated, and there's people missing, and people have died suspiciously, and there's so it's just a litany of criminality. That's what's really crazy is these people are supposedly ahead of the Justice Department. But I mean, I can go through the list of conspiracy, trafficking, interstate trafficking, peddling. There's just so many USC, federal criminal statutes violated. It's just like a joke. They don't even want to talk about it because it's so simple to ascertain.
They can charge them with conspiracy.
In a second, there's federal RICO cases, racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. I mean,
indeed.
One of the interesting things about the case is they put in this if you remember Geoffrey Berman, I don't know if you remember him, but he was the guy who worked in the Southern District of New York. He was the U.S. attorney, and he was involved in the arrest of Epstein at Teterboro back in, what was it? When did he die? 2019, right? So he was arrested July 2019. Geoffrey Berman was involved. Arrested, he dies, but Berman's around, but he wrote additional papers, and two of them are very important, and they're in these files. And one is additional co-conspirators and additional financial co-conspirators. So he actually did all the research and made these briefs, and guess what? He gets fired. He gets fired the next year by Barr at the advice of Barr, this kind of very sketchy cover. I mean, this is part of the Barr story because his dad employed Epstein back at Dalton, right? But Barr says we got to get rid of Berman, and then Berman gets punted, but these documents are still there. So he's shown the work, and it's in this. And I actually posted it on my social media. This is one of the top 10 files, and Nancy Mace, the congressperson, popped into my Twitter thread and said, this is the most important file. So she kind of realized what was going on, that they knew. So that's part of the cover-up. In my opinion, getting rid of Berman was part of the cover-up because they didn't want people to go into the co-conspirator, right? So you have this pretext to get rid of him. He was picking his nose or whatever. I don't know what their excuse to get rid of him was. I forgot what it was. But there's an underlying agenda, right? Don't look into this stuff. Don't actually do your job. To the credit of Geoffrey Berman. So, yeah, Barr is in deep. Lou Johnson Traveler. There's no question about it.
They're saying the DOJ saying case closed. That's it. No more. No one to prosecute.
Yeah, no one to prosecute, and the administration's moving forward. We've released the files and we're done.
Trump has numerous over the last week exonerated himself. I don't know if you've seen those clips, but he said, "Well, I'm exonerated." It's like, by who? By what justice system? You exonerated yourself, and you're all up in these with all the redactions as well.
So true. He's neck deep in all this stuff. They're talking about, there was an email about him.
Well, I'm telling you, it looks like they're today running trafficking through the White House in everybody's face. If you can read between the lines and the programs they're running there with First Lady Melania Trump, this big initiative to rescue Ukrainian children from Russia. Yeah, it's right there in everybody's face. They're great heroes, care about the children. It's the same routine they've been running, and they think everybody are just idiots.
So you think that the network is still operating without Epstein? So it's just a machine. Yeah, it's just a self.
It's a machine. He was one player. He was one major player in the big system. It's
the flesh trade, so to speak, or something.
Yeah, industrial level. Flesh trade, I guess you could call it, amongst other crimes they were committing.
Right. And it's just that attitude of the elite, right? They can just do whatever they want and expose, and they'll never be exposed, and they're going to get away with it. And
why was he using Gmail, right? Like everybody, it's known, don't use Gmail because it's a direct line to the government. So why was he using Gmail? He wasn't stupid. He knew that they had a direct access to his Gmail account.
Wow, yeah. Oh, it's wild.
Like, that speaks to the hubris, and he's above the law, and he just doesn't care, because it makes no sense to have a Gmail account and discuss all these illegal activities in there, as we've now seen.
He just thought he was above the law, right? I mean, don't you think that he just never thought, or somebody never thought, that this would ever be exposed?
Well, when he first got busted, he only got like a year, right? 13 months. Right. And they said, Acosta, the prosecutor at the time, said, when asked why they don't throw the book at this guy, well, because
he made a statement about
intelligence owns him, right? And so
right.
He's a international super spy.
Much like Robert Maxwell. So he gets arrested. He goes to Israel and comes back. And then while he's apparently in Israel, somebody else wrote that his bodyguard went to the CIA to like get some kind of weird training. So he gets busted, but then like instead of like doing things the mob would do, he goes to 2 places of intelligence, like, and then he flies back. Like, there's pictures of him returning from Israel in 2007.
He went back home to home base.
Went to home base and tried to figure out, what are we going to do next? How are we going to reorder this?
That's what it looks like.
And he got the best lawyers out there.
And all these agents, there's Bannon, Seagal, a bunch of different Hollywood agents, talk show people. Bannon says he's just a humble documentary filmmaker, but all these kind of people to remake his public image after he's a convicted sex offender.
Right. And his relationship with Bannon was very close. I would actually call it intimate, because I've seen a lot of their kind of exchanges leading up to Epstein's arrest in 2019. And it's just like, they're almost talking daily and goofing around, calling each other Beelzebub and Lucifer. Like, these are not Christian terms. Like, I don't want somebody to call me Lucifer, so like they're goofing around like in their own thing. Here's Trump. I think Trump is saying he's not in the files. This is like, oh, not in the files.
And no, he made a statement about me and Jeffrey Epstein. I have nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And in fact, if you look at the DOJ, they announced, they released 3 million pages. It's like this is all they're supposed to be doing. And frankly, the DOJ, I think, should just say, we have other things to do, because that whole thing has turned out, I mean, other than Bill Clinton and, Bill Gates and lots of people that there are a lot of questions about it, but nothing on me. But it was even sort of better than that because they found that Jeffrey Epstein and this sleazebag writer named Michael Wolff were conspiring against Donald Trump to lose the election. So Epstein was conspiring with a writer for me to lose the election. So right there, you know that I had nothing to do with this guy. But
he had tons. He was in his birthday book. Like when Epstein turns 50, Trump is in there. Like, give me a break in 2003 or whatever it was. Like, at least he's with him there. Yeah, I'll find the Virginia quote where he's like, before I go to Trump in 2012. Like, it's 2012.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing.
See, in my opinion, what he knew is that he got into office and he assigned the FBI to redact as much stuff out of the Epstein files as possible in March. And so they've spent the last almost year. Do you know how big that the program was for redaction, Sam?
How many DOJ lawyers did they have working on it?
1,000 with overtime, millions of dollars in overtime. So they're in there just redacting. Trump is slow rolling. Now we can get out and say this. Look, my name's not in there because I had it all redacted. But he's not telling the public he redacted it, right? This guy is a real sleaze. I mean, he's like the master sleazebag. And then he look at the deflection too. So it's Michael Wolff and Bill Clinton should be ashamed, but I'm safe. I know he knows he's safe because he took everything out. It's absolutely crazy. It just makes you sick. Let me see if I can find this thing. Like, there's literally, they actually had an act to, for this, for the redaction. There was something called the Special Redaction Project. Have you heard that?
No.
It's part known as the Epstein Transparency Project, launched in early 2025 to urgently review, process, and redact thousands of documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. It involved mobilizing nearly 1,000 agents from various divisions, including counterintelligence and international operations, to a records facility in Winchester, Virginia. The project included special training via PowerPoint, presentations, and videos on how to handle the files, which encompass surveillance footage, search warrant photos, digital evidence from seized devices, and other materials tied to Epstein's activities and death. The redactions were conducted amid debates within the Trump administration over whether to release the files, ultimately resulting in heavily blacked out documents being made public in batches. Regarding the cost to taxpayers, the project primarily incurred expenses through overtime pay for the agents involved. Documents obtained via FOIA request reveal that the FBI spent $850,000 in overtime during just 1 week from March 17th to March 22nd, 2025, covering 14,000 pay hours worked by 934 agents on 24-hour shifts. Imagine, this is what the American people paid for, to this massive cover-up.
Yeah, they milked us. They milked us to cover it up. Yeah.
The overall cost could reach $4 to $5 million when accounting for additional phases, so they spared no expense.
We pay coming, going, and everywhere in between.
It's so sick. They're totally evil. Trump is totally evil. Like, there's evil stuff in these files.
And so's the DOJ, and so's the FBI.
Yeah, Trump and Patel. What's going to happen too is once the Democrats get back in power later on this year, they're going to open up all these stuff and they're going to bust these people for obstruction of justice and all kinds of stuff, because the amount of criminality in these files is just so obvious. Like, it's just like federal law violations just go on and on. I can bring up I just wanted to know what the federal, just the federal, these aren't, the state should bring up criminal trials too, like in New Mexico. But I'll show you this, just because they never want to talk about their legal exposure because they're exposed. Sex trafficking of minors, USC 1591. Conspiracy, you mentioned that. 18 USC 371. Aiding and abetting, 18 USC 2. Enticement of minors, so they're grooming them, 18 USC 2422. Sexual slavery and crimes against humanity, racketeering, RICO. For obstruction of justice, misconduct in public.
Well, even the United Nations came out last week and said there's crimes against humanity in there.
Possession of child sex, CSAM. So They redacted all the CSAM. Like, I mean, I've reiterated this a million times. We haven't seen 2.5 million documents, so it's even worse than anything that's come out. So it's crazy. Do you want to go through your slides, Sam?
Yeah, let's blast through it.
All right, cool. Let's do it. This is you want to talk about the massacre or slaughter of the innocents?
No, I think you covered that.
Okay, go to the next one.
I just put that as the front page because that's like shocking. Oh yeah, Epstein brags about being a Rothschild agent, and I believe they have their own private intelligence agency that's above any state. And that goes back to the Battle of Waterloo, right? You could look at there where it's well known. Rothschilds have their own private intelligence agency. I believe it still operates today above any nation state, and Epstein was an agent of them. And you could see, you just put it in the search there, their Rothschild name in the files over 12,000 times mentioned.
Wow, yeah, tons back and forth and documents too. I think I saw one that said they had a $160 billion fund, so they can disperse immense amount.
I have
of money.
A little bit about the financing in here, and then here's this. You wouldn't believe it, but it's true. It's like I forget even the saying, right? True stranger than fiction, right? Epstein Zorro Trust Ranch, or a Zorro Trust, which is the operating entity to run the Zorro Ranch there in New Mexico, right? Anyhow, that entity won $80 million in the New Mexico State Lottery. There's the email confirming it.
How does a trust go get lottery numbers? Does it, like, who does that? Like, does the trust pay for lottery numbers every year or something? I don't know. How does that work?
An office pool.
Yeah, I guess that's
at the torture chambers.
Right.
I guess
we got to take time from the torture to go get our lottery numbers every week.
No, I think it really is what people have said for a long time. This is a Masonic money laundering operation, or intelligence agency, however you want to put it. Money laundering operation are these state lotteries. It's appearing that way.
I think there was another suspicious one too, if I remember correctly.
There's a lot people have looked into, and they're like, this is a clear payoff. This is clear money laundering. What's going on here?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, it's a great place for corruption, right? Is to just put your people in and then fleece the proletariat and abscond with their money, like put it wherever you want and redistribute it. It's it's a great scam. Like, everything's such a scam in America these days. Do you want me to go to the next slide?
Go ahead. This is just the official criminal investigation, laying out there the timeline from his first arrest to his second arrest, and it's just more documentation, so it's official, because so they don't try to whitewash it. Oh, he was, they were barely legal girls. No, it was real bad. I think even there they name young as 14 in that one, but it's way worse than even that. But
yeah, I
just added that so you could see it's official documentation there from the FBI.
They're trafficking in kids, and there was stuff about 5-year-old girls being raped at the mansion in New York City, and pictures being taken. Like, it's super dark.
What's this one? This is the one right here where he admits, right? He admits where he's this is the email between him and a filmmaker, and the filmmaker's making a documentary film on child sex trafficking and abuse, and he admits here that he is that abuser, that it is him.
Right.
Researching a really bad guy that gets children for sex sent to his islands. So she almost fainted when he says that it was him, right?
Right. It's him.
It's him.
He is the guy, Jeff.
You met the guy you're making the film about. Yeah.
Incredible stuff.
And this is, they try to say, oh, well, there is no evidence. Well, there's this giant, this is just one of his monitoring stations for his own closed circuit television set up there for the blackmail and his own perversions of filming all of this debauchery, torture, and the like.
Right, and this is straight out of the documents, EFT. It's all there, all the Bates numbers.
That's his little security setup monitoring station.
And Virginia Dufresne mentioned that, like, she saw the monitoring station. She said the mansion had it. It had this freaking monitoring stuff.
That's it.
I found her to be almost totally credible in everything she said, because it's all like come true. It's all been verified by pictures.
And she's dead now. That bless her soul. That adds a lot of credibility as well.
Yeah, I think they killed her. I think that's
it's looking that way.
Sure is.
What was this? Oh, just more about how much evidence that we're not ever going to see. He had 14.6 terabytes of data, and another. It's hard to read, but you can see just mountains upon mountains of data, terabytes upon terabytes of data. His blackmail material.
It's just off the charts. Like it's like a library of blackmail material.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember
the FBI has all that data now.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, is like I recall when his mansion got raided, they had pictures of like either breaking into a safe or something in there, and they had all the files and it said FBI on there. And what it indicated to me is that at the time, it means that the files went to the FBI and they marked it and sent it back to him. So it's like, whoa, what's going on with the FBI? Like, just played dumb. I think what was the guy's head at that time, but like, it's just so crazy. What's this one?
Oh, this is the French police. Along the FBI knew. The FBI knew this entire time. The French police knew for at least 6 years, according to these reports. So the French police knew and just sat on all of their information about this sordid ring.
So incredible. Like it just went on and on, like literally 30 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like
they knew for at least the last 6 years, since 2019.
He must just kept producing great intel, good blackmail intel. Why stop it?
It must be. This is just more. These are the ones they try to write off, because these they say, oh, that was just somebody called in, and so it's like plausible deniability. Where they're like, well, it was they called in and reported all these crimes, but the FBI decided not to follow up and do any investigation.
Right, but these are important. Like these are leads. People are calling in and saying, "Hey, I got information." Some of them have their names on it too. Still, they didn't get redacted.
I think that I wanted to mention that too. The whole part of the whole cover up of the redactions is the government, the DOJ is telling us, well, we're protecting the victims. It turns out they doxed a lot of victims with the leak, with these release of the files. And so they don't, but hey, they have redacted the perpetrators, but not the victims.
Right. So they bungled like some of the victim stuff, right?
A lot.
Like,
yeah. I think 100.
What's this one about? I can't read that. Let me see. Do you know?
I was saying I was just showing this to so we
it's
could
called
show.
It's called the National Threat Operations Center. That's what comes in. They had money issues and problems with their daughters. Noted they were friends with them before. During the contact in 1997, asked her how to spell Ghislaine numerous times. She had taken her daughters to see one of the supposed fathers who lived in Niagara Falls. She had met a lady who lavished her daughters in a fancy hotel. And then Christmas Eve, over visiting, had to be with. I mean, it's just, this is like there's stories of them grooming kids over and over and over again.
And the reports ignored by the FBI.
Right. Like I just listed those crimes. So like these are trafficking crimes. This isn't that complex. That's what
these are actionable. William, if you and I go outside and spit on the sidewalk, they're arresting us.
So
you know what I mean? But
yes,
it's clear, at least worth another look into. But they're just like, no, we don't care. Because they already knew, William, right? They already knew.
That's what's scary. Is like, of course we know they're doing it because we're paying them and supporting them to get information. Duh. That's how bad the FBI is, right? Like that's the whole thing. One of the things I do remember is like when Bongino he was the deputy of the FBI. He was like, I saw something so dark that it'll shake your soul to the core. And then he shut up. Do you remember him saying that?
Yeah, they were floating it for a while, still acting like they were going to be the good guys and drain the swamp. Yeah,
yeah. Turned out to be a big bunch of baloney. Yeah. So this is the follow up on this too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trump. Oh yeah, he was on the phone. This is the one about the thing that happened in Kiefer, Oklahoma.
But again, let's remind everybody, it's just reports. None of it's confirmed. That's our plausible deniability.
Right. And this, like, women and guns is not very common too. So whenever you see a woman who decides that she's going to get a gun and unalive themselves, it's very rare. Very, very rare. So just letting you know. Like there's only like a handful of women who've committed crimes with guns, like Eileen Wuornos and some other people. They usually do like really surreptitious stuff, poisons and things like that. They're just not, they don't have that male, like external, like violent thing. They're not like that generally. But yeah, this is one of the worst ones. The girl's name, they actually found out her name, who was involved. Supposedly somebody did some intrepid work. This is from the earlier drop, by the way. That was from the drop that happened in December, is my understanding. But the girl's name is, I used to have it. I can't find it in my files. But there was actually like it's actually her name went all the way around the world. They were reporting her name in Europe. This girl who went back to Oklahoma, which is really something else. If I can find her name. Dusty Ray Duke was her name. And she was in the files. This is it right here. They actually had articles about her. They mentioned her name. This is from January 7th, 2026. So not that long ago. But like they're talking about her name, suicide dates, things like that, 2000. The redacted 3-page report describes a call from an unidentified man, 2020. It's not that long ago either. You know, it is 5 years ago, but, you know, it's not that long. Anyway, it's just so great. It's just, I don't know how they're going to live this down because something's happening in the public where they're
going to start a major war with Iran.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It looks like they also, I'm sure you saw it, William. Trump also says he's directed the government to declassify all UFO info.
Right, UFO. They're going to do the UFO release. Yeah, I saw that. They're really trying to deflect from all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's this one?
There's the bank records. The bank records he had over $100 million in cash spread across 30 shell companies. And you could see down the breakdown a little bit there on that spreadsheet.
It's just incredible stuff. One of these is the means by which they laundered the funds for the sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
So like it could be the Butterfly Trust, which is like a symbol of these pedophiles and like mind control and stuff.
Monarch programming.
Hey, John, just pay money into my trust. Give me $50,000 and call it a donation or for services rendered. And it doesn't, nobody knows what the services are, but it's for the delivery of some girl for the weekend or something like that, And for these guys like Leon Black, who's a billionaire, 50,000 is kind of like, what he makes in a weekend. Or Bill Gates like coughs and makes $20,000. So like these are not huge expenditures, right? And we know that he got a freaking STD from some Russians and stuff. So how many times did he go back to the trough, so to speak? Like, are these guys using Jeffrey Epstein's services 100 times a year. So if you did 100 times a year at $20,000, right? That's $2 million a year. Think about the numbers. Like that's just one person.
But when you're a billionaire, like you say, it's a drop in the bucket to these guys.
Yeah, I think so. Like it's not even noticeable, and they can also launder that money too through their own trust in these Byzantine complex things. Like people are starting to go through this and find out just discrepancies and things. Like it's just off the charts what they were doing. And actually, we've learned that under the Biden administration, they were very good at creating NGOs to launder American taxpayer dollars. And there's a statement by
USAID, the CIA was basically, that's all it was a giant money laundering operation.
Trillions. It's not billions.
Mm-hmm.
And Epstein was doing the same thing. Like
for the poor kids, William. It's for the poor kids.
Right. Oh, you're a racist. Sam, you're a racist for even asking questions, you bigot.
I know.
It's like, it has nothing to do with it. Like, you're talking about fraud. It screws everybody. Like, how are we going to pay this debt off? You stole.
Like, you hate poor African kids. It's like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying at least if we give them all this money, I want it to go to them. It doesn't even go to them.
Right. It's all these. It's like empathy fraud or charity fraud because like it has these
altruism. Remember that term that came out of the Sam Bankman-Fried frauds? They were using the term effective altruism as they were great philanthropists saving the world. It just turns out it's another term for fraud.
It's just massive fraud, billions and billions of dollars in fraud and stealing. Like, oh, so they always, that's the whole thing is like, these guys always coat themselves in charity. So like you'll see these guys around Epstein at these charity events or, oh, we're doing it for the kids or we're supporting this, lost children or
Bill Gates, the world's greatest philanthropist.
Yeah.
Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
It just makes you freaking sick. It's so disgusting.
This one, what was this one? This one was a document claims Epstein once worked. Oh, they called him a financial bounty hunter in this email for the U.S. government.
I know this document because it's a corollary to the co-conspirators document. And there's redacted parts of this. And it was trying to list, and they redacted this is the redactions of the people who were raping the kids in the trafficking thing. So I've seen this in an unredacted thing. And that's like, they knew that there were other people doing it. So when they get up and say there's no other people we're going to prosecute, it's these people, they're just lying. It's just so sick when you really think about it. And how many, I mean, there had to have been at least 10,000 victims of the trafficking. Like it's that big, it's that vast. Industrial scales, it's really crazy.
This one, more about the Rothschilds. Let's see. Just speaking to the fact that he's a Rothschild agent.
But then prehistoric products, like what the heck is that? That's another code word.
And connecting him. Well, he used his status as Rothschild agent as some type of status clout to talk to have his introduction to Peter Thiel, right? And so that's how he was able to woo Peter Thiel, was to say, I'm a Rothschild agent. And that was his introduction.
Peter Thiel of the Bilderberg. Is that the same guy who talked?
Same Peter Thiel.
He's not the same Peter Thiel. They asked whether he wants the human race to continue, and he couldn't answer.
Same Peter Thiel, and it's come out now. Epstein was on the Trilateral Commission and the board of Rockefeller University as well.
Wow, that's incredible. Incredible stuff.
This one was nearly 100 Epstein victims doxxed, essentially.
Right. So they're all harassed, right?
So their names, photos, addresses in some cases. The DOJ doxed the victims here.
So the DOJ doxed them as well, not third parties. Wow. Because that's what happened back in the original case in 2007-8. They went through, I'm old enough to remember what MySpace was, but they went after these girls' MySpace pages, and you could see the documents of all the MySpace pages. Like they like took voluminous records and tried to say like, oh, you had an ex-boyfriend or you smoke pot or
Dershowitz used any bad they could find about the victims on the internet, MySpace as example, when that was a thing. And they turned around and they said, you're smoking weed, you're partying, so you're a bad person. And so that discredits all your claims of abuse because you were smoking weed at a party and you posted it on MySpace.
right.
That's what Dershowitz was using as a way to smear the victims.
Right. So they go after your character right away. That's part of the
character assassination. Yeah.
This girl, Tila Davies, is still around. She's actually public. She's like talking, and as of 2026, so she's talking about, these are predators. So they find out kids from broken homes or vulnerable, dad's not around. Like that's how it's like a pedophile things, Okay, so there's no dad, and
they have a profile of victims to target for sure.
Yeah, mom needs money. The kid still has dreams. I can make you a model, or I've got contacts in Hollywood.
That was a big lure to become a model, an actress.
Yeah, it's gross. They're so freaking gross. Ghislaine Maxwell should never get out of jail. And I mean, all these other people need to be arrested. It's just incredible. Interestingly enough, Sam, is that actually the UK actually showed some spine and arrested Prince Andrew, and today Mandelson got arrested, who's pictured with Epstein a lot. I mean,
but his was for spy stuff, for state secrets, not for any child molestation or abuse stuff, not for trafficking.
They've had in the UK, they've had a lot of problems with, I mean, this is classic predatory stuff. I've got Savile stuff too, but I can get to that, which is in these files. You just wouldn't even believe it. But Mandelson, they had problems with these guys boys. They go after boys' homes and stuff. And Mandelson was implicated, I think, in one of the boy scandals, not Kinkora, but maybe another one. So he might be really dark and involved in dark stuff. But people are reading these documents, but there's actually NSOC reports that come in about a Savile meeting in New Orleans. And I just felt there's another guy saying, yeah, Savile was in, New Orleans with these guys. And Savile is super dark. He's one of the most evil people. He's like a Crowley level, nefarious, diabolical, demonic person, total occultist and involved
best friends with King Charles.
That's right. And was a necrophiliac. I mean, that's the allegation, literally finding dead bodies and
crippled and dead kids, right? He would go to the children's hospitals for his philanthropic duties and wind up raping sick kids and dead kids at the children's hospitals.
That's how depraved. See, that's the depravity that we're talking about with the Epstein, is this cannibalism and something wrong with the babies and kids. It's ninth circle of hell levels of Savile. That's how dark it is, guys. It's the darkest pitch black evil type stuff where these guys are pure evil. It's really that bad. And just the Saviles in the kind of network or something is a real tell. Oh, you're talking I'm Leon Black. I'm going to go hang out with Jim Savile in New Orleans. What? You are? You're this is whoa.
It's they know they're up to no good.
Yeah, I think so. So bad.
Was this one? This was about the ranch, cash incentives. Oh, this was just the pipeline. This was showing the pipeline. How we were talking about targeting victims for abuse. How they're going about doing that. This one kind of speaks to that. Cash incentives for recruiters.
Wow.
And for massage appointments as access points. So a structured system for sourcing and delivering girls to powerful men. And so that's it. Or maybe you want to become a masseuse. And so you could enter the trafficking pipeline that way. And
massage is actually another kind of code term because it wasn't massage. It wasn't a true massage. It was sex. Like there's some type of sexual activity
and abuse.
and abuse, but they just
Mhm.
use the term massage to do it. So that's another example of like a code word amongst themselves. I like this terminology here. I became part of a coven of very empowered, confident, and successful women recruiters. Coven, this is witch terms, man. This is not like you see these occult terms like pop through this whole thing.
Yep.
We called ourselves the Dream Team.
And those are the recruiter one funnel into the trafficking network.
Yeah, just one. That's right. I like that word funnel. That's a good one. Because they were like trying to like, there was this interlock in school. They had lists of troubled teens. They had all these modeling agencies. They had Life Touch, right? So they're taking pictures of kids and all over the United States. God knows which ones, they put their finger on. I mean, it's Shutterfly. They're just constantly looking for victims. Like I think it was just a constant.
Like they created their own database of through the yearbook, Shutterfly, like you're saying, and they created their own database with pictures of potential victims to snatch and corrupt and bring into their trafficking network.
It's absolutely insane.
This is the crazy one, William. This one talks about government use of mind control, directed energy weapons, and mind control technology. And this one's crazy.
Do you feel like reading that? I mean, they talk about all this stuff like TI terms and names and things like that.
Yeah. Can you read it? Because it's kind of small.
I can try to. It does have a Bates number, EFTA 00262811. It says buried in the Epstein document dump is a massive file detailing directed energy and mind control technology used on people without consent. Government human experimentation causing permanent psychological damage. Lists symptoms: anxiety, insomnia from graphic imagery of rape and abduction, fear of relationships, constant stress, isolation from family. Wow, this is like classic TI stuff. Wow. Military involvement, sexual targeting, 2014, 2016. They talk about university stuff, Adelaide University, names. Neither victim had suffered any forms of these events and conditions medically or personally, and there are no medical records or findings of these symptoms ever occurring in their lives prior to 2013. The victim first contesting to the intellectual property theft of the medical business plan. So it goes to South Australia. But, this gives like all these other people who like other, myself included, who've like, I can't validate your claims. But it's like, this is really happening. Like, wow, people are being targeted for whatever reason. It's remarkable. Thanks for listening, everybody. We've got 200 live listeners, so thanks, everybody.
And they write it off to you're crazy, right? Which is part of the program. Oh, you're just crazy. Well, no, actually, I wasn't experiencing any of this 2 years ago until you guys decided to put the all-seeing eye on me, and now you're harassing me and torturing me with this stuff all day.
Right. So
I'm
stuff
actually
is real.
not crazy because I never had a problem until you guys put the all-seeing eye on me.
Right. Eye of Sauron. Let's see. Wow.
Oh, this one, William. They're talking about in here all of the network that this group right here is talking about. They've systematically corrupted the science, as Fauci screams the science at us, right? They've systematically corrupted it at the institutional level. And so they're talking about here, this John Arnold and Laura Arnold are like the gatekeepers for scientific research.
Okay, so if they've corrupted all science, how much of COVID was Epstein's network?
All of it.
All of it. So yeah, I think you're right. Were you able to make any connections between Fauci or any of those guys and Epstein?
No, I haven't tried, honestly. But
are you familiar with Metabiota?
Yes. Well, yeah.
That's in the file. So the connection
Yeah.
between this guy Wolf and Epstein is legit. So
And that links up the Ukrainian bioweapons labs as well.
this is of national security importance, guys. This isn't just criminal stuff. This is like this is the people who released whatever this whole COVID fiasco on us. This is the type of people and the mentality. When they're talking, Bill Gates is in there too, so that's another one. So these people are raping kids, trafficking kids, possibly eating kids, and trafficking in babies,
and suppressing any alternative breakthrough science that could be cures for the world's ills, because they're controlling it all through their gatekeepers at the top. This John Arnold and Laura Arnold. Through pub, peer, pub, smear. These guys say it's well known in the scientific community that indeed gatekeepers are, you're not getting anything published, peer reviewed or whatever that doesn't toe the official line. So they're suppressing humanity at a level we can't even imagine, William.
I think you're right. 100% agree with you. But you did see that play out at COVID in 2000, 2001, right? Where people got censored. There was
alternative treatments. Trump even put it out there, right? All these different alternatives. Well, you can't talk about that. You're banned. It's like, wait, what? Okay.
And there were things leading up to 2000 in the Epstein files of like planning pandemics. They're like talking about
Event 201. It's all right there.
It's in the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one between this Wolf guy from Metabiota and Epstein says, you want to get together and plot? Like they're literally, it's not a word you use.
Sounds like a conspiracy to me.
It is a conspiracy. That's just one of the charges.
Let's get together and plot.
The FBI and the DOJ are totally corrupt. They do not work for the American people, period. That's what the Epstein files prove. That's the additional thing. So they've always, like, you want to use the funnel? Like, that's a great term. They're funneling reality, just saying Jeff was an individual pedophile. Now he's dead and we can move on. But all these other bums, Gates, Trump, they know that they're networked and overlapping on so many other issues and topics. And this one about pandemics and plandemics and stuff.
Didn't Bondi see? I don't think I ever saw the original quote. I don't know if it's real or not, but you probably saw the meme that Bondi saying that if we go after this network, it'll collapse the whole system, to paraphrase something like this.
Let it collapse.
That's true. Yeah. Well, yeah, it needs to collapse.
Yeah.
Because
it's an inhuman, anti-human. They've murdered millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
This network has murdered. I'm not exaggerating. That's how big the case is.
They're holding all of humanity, their entire world down.
Yeah. No, there's nothing. There's no question about it. So it's part of like what you would call like Mystery Babylon or something,
mm-hmm.
where like it was all a mystery to the public, and now it's been exposed. This picture is perfect. All this kind of networked, graph and flow chart or whatever it is.
They're all pissed off because they're like, we're scientists, we're doing good work, we're trying to get our work published and move on with our projects, and we can't because it's blocked here at this institutional level.
And what you see with Epstein too is his application of funds to science that he wants. Like I've done a show on this guy Trivers, who was he's a evolutionary biologist, and he's supporting him. So if he has trouble with academia, Epstein sends him a check for 30 G's, helps him find a new job, helps him land on his feet. It's so crazy. And all this stuff, all this fake like science, these all went on to Rogan. All these guys are like on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is part, I don't know if he's witting or unwitting, but he's got everybody from the Epstein network on there. Pinker, Krauss, Gertzel. They're all just like on his,
and they're all selling
Thiel,
transhumanism as well.
Musk, yeah. So all these guys are in there with this kind of modern, and no, I don't think any of them have come out and say they're Christians, right? So like this is Rogan himself as well. So you see this kind of different view of world where they can, like alchemists, they can adjust reality, which is what they've done. Instead of accepting reality as is or God's plan or whatever. So it's really, it's like Luciferianism or something. Just absolutely crazy. When you get the enormity of it, it's like, wow. Do you have any more comments on this one? Do you want to go?
No, I was just I wanted to show this to speak to show their levels. This is like one shows a level of control at the institutional level with a bunch of scientists all pissed off and calling them out about it.
It's interesting that you see the trident there of Poseidon. That's always kind of an occult symbol too. It's similar to the pitchfork, which is the symbol of Zorro.
Yeah, that on his Zorro Ranch little tail, right? And on he's got it on his jet. A bunch of places that symbols comes up.
He sure does. He sure does.
This I broke it into 3 sections: eugenics, transhumanism, and the torture or the sacrifice. So it's just speaking to their eugenics, their Jewish supremacy. I don't know if we're really allowed to say that. They're allowed to openly make derogatory comments, the goyim, and so that's all through here. Jewish supremacy is all through here, and he admits the stereotype here. Let the goy deal with the real world. This is the way the Jays make money. I don't even like saying any of these words, Williams, because I'm so censorship shy at this point. And even saying the J word, I think at some point is going to get us censored because it's that crazy. Anyway, let me just read you this is the way the Jews make money and make a fortune in the past 10 years, selling short the shipping futures. Let the goyim deal in the real world, right? And that's from Epstein to Roger Shank. And so that is the stereotype, right? He's admitting that, yeah, indeed, this is how the world of finance operates.
Right. So they're monetizing every world event. So they either put money on things that they know that change is going to be facilitated in the world, or things that'll go down. They short or invest, and then somebody else can just do the work because they're going to make money manipulating reality. So, and that's exactly what happened in COVID, right? Like we know that all these funds are going to go towards vaccines and all that stuff, and they're doing it all the time. And you mentioned Waterloo, right? So like he's validating the Jewish stereotype right here. You're absolutely right. One of the things I've learned is like when he said like he's talking to his urologist who's giving him erectile dysfunction pills, and it's a known instance where he says goyim, but then they follow up with let's go get grape soda and pizza. But I think it means goyim. What he's saying is that we can go gang rape people because they're just goyim. So this whole Jewish, the people are cattle kind of view is reflected in these documents. Which is absolutely
they're Jewish supremacists.
They're talking to one another, yeah, and they're not expecting like the goy to actually see these emails. Yeah.
This one, I think, yeah, goy. I didn't know any of them. They did a great job, at least for the goyim, and so just more. For people that don't know, that's akin to William and I calling blacks the N-word, right? It's just so it's inappropriate and derogatory, and that's the way they're talking about basically everybody else that's not part of their cult.
I think that Epstein has to owe his whole existence to kind of like a Jewish network. Whether it's Wexner and all these other things.
But we're not allowed to say that, or we're antiseptic and we hate the Jays. And it's like, no, we're not saying that at all. We're saying, look at what they believe, the way they talk, and we're just saying that it's not right what they're into. And for us noticing it, we're not bad.
One of the things that's absent in this whole Epstein saga, and it's gone on for a long time, is a real lack of remorse or empathy. Like nobody comes out and goes, "This is horrible." They're like
I think
denial.
there was one where a guy's like, "I don't want to kill anybody," something like that. But yeah, they have no remorse at all. They're feeding off of it, right? This is
vampires. Yeah,
this is their thing.
Yeah, parasites. It's so gross. It's just so disgusting. The lack of, and there was one in here. I don't know if you've seen that thing where, like, they're abusing some girl and they're telling somebody, and she's like, I know Jesus looks down on me and is watching over me, and God's over me. And then Epstein goes, "Whoops!" Like that's his casual response. It's not like, "Wow, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that," or
They were mocking. They're mocking, openly mocking Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
And the victim's belief in Jesus.
Yeah, it's sick. It's so sick. Oh, more Goyim. Haven't seen this one.
They are the synagogue. This is the synagogue of Satan from the Bible. It's the same crew. It's all there. They are Mystery Babylon.
Yeah, it's Mystery Babylon. These aren't the kind of, what's missing also from these files is Jeff going to Sabbath or quoting. I mean, there's some quotes. The Old Testament quotes are all the most violent Old Testament quotes. It's never like, turn the other cheek or be kind or something like that. It's like, be at them and then cut all their heads off. Like, it reminded me of like a Clockwork Orange, where the lead character, Alex DeLarge, he loves the Bible, but it's not because there's so much like good or you're doing something. He loves all the violence in the Bible. He likes wiping out whole races of people and whippings and torture. And I feel like that's reflected in these Epstein files.
I think we have a picture of Epstein's bookshelf in one of his offices has the Talmud behind him.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no question about that. So it's the Talmud. So he's like the Talmudic Jew, not a Tanakh Jew, like Old Testament. Yeah, the lack of condemnation for this is really just such a huge tell. It's such like the omission of like, why aren't you outraged by this? Like you're literally raping and trafficking in children. They're just like, so what? Like there's no moral outrage. There is huge amounts of moral outrage on the street in the United States. Like everybody in my social circle is talking about it. What about you? Do you find that to be the case? Here and there.
I think, well, it all depends on who you talk to, right?
Yeah, I guess that's it.
It depends if people are watching, if they're watching mainstream media and conservative Inc. media, then they're not getting any of this information because it's being gatekept from them.
That's right. Yeah, I think that our media, well, the old corporate media has been captured by very demonic people, probably part of the Epstein network. Nico, I remember that one. There was that one girl who was talking like, we had the story on Epstein. I wasn't allowed to talk about it. I forgot what her name was.
From ABC, yeah, that reporter. Robach, I think it was the
Robach, yeah, good memory. Yeah. That's right. Is this the one I just did? Oh, here's the new one.
Just more Jewish supremacy. Goyim talk there. Who was this? Was this
Goyim in Abundance? It's Peggy Siegel, so that's his publicist.
Yeah. One of his publicists, yeah.
Yeah, these are great documents. They see how they really think about other people, like behind their back when they walk around.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
More Goyim.
We did that one. Okay, so there's
the Talmud.
So there's Jeff with his U.S. Army, which he said himself he considered himself a coward. Once he got arrested, he said he was a coward. In his boob, he has his boob cake and the Talmud right there behind him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's two pictures that are redacted for some reason. Like, why are those redacted? Like, these redactions are crazy.
Yeah,
we just exposed these redactions were an industrial level redactions. It wasn't 5 people in an office. I bet they all had to take, NDAs or sign NDAs. But it wasn't just 5 people. It was 900 with overtime in the mid millions. So these people made money redacting all this stuff. It's so crazy.
What was this one? Just more Goyim, more speaking, and it just goes on and on and on. I just wanted to establish that they indeed are Talmudic Jewish supremacists.
Yeah. But they want to like rebreed Jews, right? So like I'm 98% Jew, you're 78% Jew. We're smart. They're not smart. So there's this kind of intellectual.
They're talking about the bloodline here. They
Yeah.
start getting into bloodline, into semen, into eggs. The eugenics.
It's eugenics stuff. He hated black people too. That's why you see no black victims. He didn't.
We have some open racism in here somewhere. But here he is, James Watson, Nobel Prize winner, co-discoverer of DNA. Speaking to the eugenics there.
So they had a picture of him too.
And that's a report out of you see the file number and UK Telegraph reporting on it.
Right. So there he is. So they brought in the founder of DNA.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that in one of the files.
This one, he was running do-it-yourself genetics experiments and links there in the emails talking about it from Brian Bishop.
Right. Fusion of bull and human sperm with Nicotinea protoplast. What the hell is that? They're trying to make like a minotaur or something? I haven't seen this one.
Some kind of weird genetic experiments.
If you look up Brian Bishop in these things, he's always talking about crazy stuff like that. Like I've seen other ones. I haven't seen this email before, but it's mouse testing in Ukraine too. So here's Ukraine pops up again. So a lot of this dark stuff in Ukraine is like connected to Epstein and his network.
Yeah.
Amateur in Mississippi has been testing human sperm modification. Great. In 2018, like holy smokes. And that guy Trivers, he was talking about kind of the whole human phenotype, in that they could suppress testosterone in men and elevate estrogen through their serum and stuff. And then you see these people today, like there's not as many masculine men out there anymore. There just aren't. Like when I grew up, there were dudes with like full beards at 15 or 16. Like they were freaking. They used to be able to, like, they were the guys we would send to get beer, because they just like were hairy as that all get out. And like those kids, you can't find them anymore. Like those really, over testosterone dudes. They're all like, twinks or something. It's like something happened, or, they tested some of the DARPA juice on people.
Well, yeah, our environment's toxic, right? You got these, you got estrogen mimicking hormones all over the place, pesticides. That's a whole nother show, but yeah.
But it's reflected in these documents. They're talking about that. So these are the type of people who have the capacity to do that to humanity and innocent people. Like these are total demon people. They're the most evil people. It's so much more important to address this than anything in Iran or Russia. Like you literally have in your society the children of the devil. Like these are demon people.
Trump just last week gave glyphosate national security protection. So Bayer and Monsanto now have liability protection.
Yeah,
I don't know. There should be massive protests over that.
100% on that alone.
On that alone.
And
that
then
one issue alone of giving glyphosate indemnity under national security. It cannot stand.
Can't stand. There's a really good meme of a dude with a MAGA hat drinking down glyphosate, and it's just like, when is MAGA going to just drop MAGA? There should be no MAGA anymore, because everything that was promised is he used it for toilet paper. No war, let's go to war. Epstein files, you get nothing. You get slop. Poisoning, no, you don't get that. There's still tons of illegals everywhere. Do you know a quarter of Mexico is in the United States?
we haven't seen mass deportations. The last numbers I saw coming out of Department of Homeland Security, they say 1.6 million have self-deported, and another 600,000 were actually deported.
It's
And
nothing.
so it's nothing. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. When we've seen Vice President J.D. Vance, Mr. Technocracy, say there's 50 million illegal aliens in this country.
Yeah. I think it's right around there. I think it's 25 to 50 million.
Well, more have self-deported than the government has actually deported for violating U.S. immigration law. And they've convoluted the whole thing. Well, they're criminal illegal aliens. So it's like they're criminal because they broke our immigration law, and then they broke other laws. But I don't want to get into the. It's
a little side thing, but I'm really kind of talking about a Trump like false promises. They're not worried about immigration as much as in these Epstein files. They don't care. It's not even an issue for them. I think they're insulated by their money. They just don't care. So
sure.
They're just all going to them.
And hey, if you got illegal aliens with no documentation, then they feed them into the trafficking network, right? As we covered last time over there at the border of Juarez, right?
Right.
But a lot of those poor souls are fed right into the meat grinder that is the trafficking network here.
Yeah, in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. It seems acceptable, but it's not acceptable at all. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. Like, this is incredible stuff. This guy Bishop. Oh yeah, this is a good one. I know this one.
Oh, this is about Katie Couric, and they're having a meeting, and they're talking about cloning, human sacrifices, all kind of crazy stuff, man.
And then Couric says, I thought was going to vomit. She was almost going to throw up being around all these ghouls. Cephalopelvic disproportion. That's what they're talking about. Is that Richard Trivers? I don't know who that guy is, but they're like talking about all that stuff. Maybe these are totally evil people, man. I mean, America's going to have a real problem in the next 1 or 2 generations with these people being around because they've been exposed and their kids are around and they're part of our society and they're demonic. They're like, don't mind about human trafficking and rape and child rape and, financial skullduggery, and there's no justice. Americans aren't passionate about application of law against unjust people. I mean, they're just not. So I think that you can really get away with a lot as long as you keep people on drugs and give them like flashing information from a flashing idiot box in sports.
They talk in the emails about social engineering. I don't think we have those here, but I remember reading them and laughing about, oh yeah, look at the goy are easily distracted.
And you see that happening. You see that happening with the Epstein files. They're distracted out of it. They're going to change your mind. They're going to flip you out. And there's actually one of the interesting things that I found in the files is how they want to adjust people's memories. They literally,
we got those, the Flower and another,
awesome.
And an MIT guy, I believe, some professor, I forget which university, talking about erasing short-term memory.
Yeah. How many slides do you have, Sam?
Oh, I have a bunch more. I don't think we'll cover it in 2 hours, but
we got 20 minutes left. Let's try to get through.
Incest right here is joking about incest with the royal family, of course.
Does that make it incest? Wow. That's Peter Mandelson. That's the guy who got arrested today, right? Yeah,
about trying to make his see the bottom there, or you can marry Princess Beatrice. The queen would have a queen as a godson. And we know the royal family is very much into keeping the bloodline pure until they have to go out of it because they're, destroying their genetics with inbreeding.
Right. If you're a little too far off of like the inbred, they'll kill you too. Do you know that Princess Diana was half American?
I did not know, but I know that they had to throw her into the gene pool because it was getting pretty polluted with Yeah,
she was like the best thing that ever happened to the royal family, in my opinion. So, of course, she outshined them. I think that she intentionally tried to outshine them, and she really did. And that was partially jealousy to get rid of her.
Here's the eggs. Talking about eggs here in this email. Not Easter eggs either.
Right.
20. More about the eugenics. Epstein planned to impregnate 20 women at a time at his at Zorro Ranch there.
Right.
And that's a report out of the New York Times. This one, this has foul language. Let's see. Who is baby Jeffrey? Yeah. So does Epstein have a bunch of kids out there that are his DNA that they use surrogates for? You know what I mean? Explaining to our baby Jeffrey how kitties work, and so that looks like probably some coded language as well.
Incredible.
There's his publicist, Hollywood publicist Seagull, right there, covering up for him. This one talking about bring a little baby back from Africa, or two, she said.
There's actually a complaint from 2019 from somebody from Africa claiming that they went to Africa and raped a bunch of people. Have you seen that? I just got that one today.
I haven't seen that one, but I've seen where they talk about bringing black babies back here. Little baby back can bring a little baby back for you or two. That's
I haven't seen those at all. Wow, that's so crazy.
And then this one, who is this? This is this Norwegian princess, Merit, and she says she wants to carry your child, and she's talking to Epstein.
What if there's little Epsteins around? Because the other girl from Germany, she said the same thing. Like, I want to be your, like, I want to have a baby with you. And there was one of these videos that I saw of these people dancing around his desk. And on the desk, it had the pregnancy test, which I thought was odd. Like, okay, well, what does a dude have a pregnancy test for? So
here's top advisor to Bill Gates, Boris Nikolic. He says, just done with DARPA meeting. She wants to carry your child. Question mark. So more talking about these eugenics breeding program.
This is the girl I was talking about. Yeah.
This is the one, Junkerman. And I would direct everybody to Johnny Vedmore. He's done extensive reporting on her specifically and links to Epstein.
He's in the files too. Do you know
he
that?
He is.
Yeah. I saw his name pop up.
About his reporting.
He also looked into Edinger too, if I remember correctly, right? Like some people in the network. My understanding.
Here she says, will you have a baby with me?
Right. Do we know if she's had children?
I haven't looked into it. Nicole Junkerman is her name. Big financier, biotech out of UK.
And I think Vedmore said that she kind of integrated herself into the UK healthcare system in some form.
Into the establishment, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, if I remember. So it's just this network of assets. Like it's criminal, but it's also like an intel network too. Like you just like, okay, you're doing that. And the amount of emails that they're sending to each other is really extraordinary.
Birth babies for black market use. Right there.
And this stuff happens, guys. People who think that they're not birthing babies, look into the story of John or Yao of God in Brazil. And he was like
he's in the email. He's in the Epstein emails.
I didn't know that.
References, yes.
Okay, I'll have to check him out. But he was doing the same thing, got caught. And some girl said, this is horrible. They're like literally buying and trading in babies. And she died, man. She died in Spain. Like they wasted her. This is not that long ago, too. probably like through, and who's best friends with Oprah's John of God and all these people, and Abramovich. Abramovich went and saw Jah of God, so it's just like this evil occult witch warlock network, and Abramovich is in here too.
Yep.
So gross, dude. These people are just.
That's why I thank you and all the other reresearchers that look at this stuff at the beginning, because this stuff will make your skin crawl, and it just makes you want to throw up, and it makes me want to go hurt these people. Honestly, I'm not advocating violence. Don't do any violence, but that's the way it hits me in my heart and my soul reading this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's going to increase vigilantism because they're not doing anything about it. So it's like, well, what do we have this law enforcement? What's Kash Patel and
exactly? Why all you steroided dudes with guns? Why don't you go? There's a big old list of bad people, man. You know what I mean? You got the authority from the state to have a monopoly on violence. Go do something about this.
That one guy, yeah, he tried to assault Trump yesterday at Mar-a-Lago. He didn't make it. Austin.
I don't know if I even believe any of these.
I don't believe that. Well said. I'm not sure that's true either. I mean, I think really they're trying to deflect as much from the story as possible. They have to, because it implicates Trump and his whole. I think he's part of the network with Lutnick and all that stuff.
Oh, he is. Hell yeah, he is. And the phrase from Watergate, right? The cover-up's worse than the crime.
Well said. Yeah.
It's starting to look like the cover-up is even worse than this.
Amen. You're right. It's like compounding it. It's making it troubling the impact, because it's like,
and the Streisand effect too, right? Because they're like, oh, nothing to see there. Trump exonerated himself. Well, now people are like, wait a minute, let me go see what's actually in there.
Right. Like, I'm not in there. Yeah, you are. You're all over this. He's just stone cold lying. Like, this is just complete He's like that whole thing, that video I showed you is like a master class in denial and deflection. I'm not in there, but Wolf is, and this guy is, and I'd be nervous if I was Clinton or Bill Gates, but I'm not nervous. Yeah, right. With Zorro Ranch. This is a demon from hell.
Gates, what was this one about? This was how do we get rid of poor people as a whole? Yeah. And this is talking about this exchange between Epstein and not Bill Gates, but they reference Gates in there about his how do you get rid of poor people?
They sure do. They sure did talk about it. What's this one?
And Gates is the guy. He would know, right? That's his thing. Get rid of poor people.
Right. That's the same one. There's the EFTA number right there. There's the Bates number. Mark Landon, maternal fetal medicine.
Oh, this is one of his. He had this guy on payroll. Speaking just more to the Jewish supremacism, and this was a gynecology doctor on Epstein's payroll, and we brought I did put the actual receipts of the payments to him here in the next couple pages.
Was this guy treating all the trafficked women? Is that what people think, or do you know?
He was treating Epstein.
Oh, okay.
And whoever Epstein sent his way.
There was something in there that Epstein's testicles didn't work very well at the end there.
I saw that he was supplementing testosterone, and he had some disease. I forget the name, some quote rare disease that caused him to have low testosterone and bad health.
It was like a syndrome, yeah, something.
Some kind of very rare disease. I saw that in there.
Yeah. I saw that too. I don't know if it was validated or verified, but I remember seeing that.
Well, according to lab tests, he had low testosterone.
I think when he was in jail, they had a list of the medicines he was taking, so you could tell what kind of stuff he was taking pills in the morning. He was 66.
And all that evil I believe it does take a physical toll on you.
He was stressed. He had that guy, that Slavic MMA fighter, following him around because he was worried somebody was going to go after him for the abuse. So he had this guy. You can see the pictures in there. He's like a very fit guy, and he's a perfect guy too, because he's from a foreign country. He probably doesn't speak the language very well. He doesn't know the amount of crimes that Epstein's been involved in. So I forgot his name off. It had a kind of, Slavic sounding name. I can't remember it off now.
These are just the receipts that doctor was on his payroll. I think there's like 2 or 3.
Much younger. There's the 12-year-olds, right? There's stories of 10-year-olds and babies and shrimp and those kind of weird things. The younger, the better. 2 8-year-olds. They're making child porn. I mean,
prepubescent.
Yeah, prepubescent. There's a picture of him with a prepubescent girl. She's on his lap. You can see her underwear, and he's happy as a clam. So, like, he's close. I mean, it may be a close friend of his, but it's very inappropriate. Like, it's bad. Gene editing babies with Bannon.
Yeah.
I mean, my understanding is Bannon didn't divulge he tried to kind of like distance himself from Epstein. Like I don't know. Like,
no, he put out a statement and said he's just a humble documentary filmmaker.
Okay. So that's not the case, man. He's very intimately involved with Epstein for like a year at least.
Bannon's evil. Bannon's pure evil. And
incredible.
He hijacked the right-wing populist movement in this country, the nationalist movement, and he's sorry to say it led you into a ditch.
Right, but when you see his show, The War Room, apparently the War Room was built with the assistance of Epstein. Mm-hmm. They had this thing that they were going to put themselves out into, create more media that he would. Bannon came up as a political strategist and a documentarian, but then he's like, I'm going to start this media. So everything you see in the War Room, in part, was influenced by Epstein. And then there's like religious icons and iconography in his background, like Jesus. And here he is with like the most anti-Jesus.
No, it's all mockery.
Ooh, yeah.
It's all just mockery of his audience.
Yeah, I think so. He's a demon. He's one of them. He's part of the network.
100%.
Very bad. I've heard like some of his buddies are like trying to defend him. Like this is going to it's going to blow up the entire culture. But like people are trying to defend Trump and Bannon. It's like, bro, it's only going to get worse. People are going to start realizing how bad it is. And Bannon was like mocking Trump behind his back. Like they're literally making fun of Trump, he and Epstein.
Mm-hmm. And Trump calls him Sloppy Steve and fired him, right, as his advisor. So this one was he was a victim of a type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut off on the yacht. Oh, this is the one where we couldn't confirm this was just a report, right? And this talks about Daddy Bush eating a kid, right? Eating entrails out of a victim.
Cream cheese, right? That's supposed to be the cream cheese. Like it's so freaking dark, guys. But if you read my book, Prophet of Evil, you realize Bush is like dark. And this is an FBI document. It says SSA, FBI New York. And then NYPD Detective Bureau Child Exploitation. Why are these names redacted? They're not even involved. They're not victims, and they're not perps. They shouldn't be redacted by the law that was passed. So great.
They're redacted, so we can't connect all the dots. Transhumanism for as immortality rituals. Hollywood producer hyped blood transfusion to Epstein as age reversal. Hollywood producer Barry Josephson emailed Epstein about Dr. Angus, a young blood transfusions, and all you need is a blood transfusion from the pack, and you reverse aging.
Right.
We've heard this before, right? Like the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
Go over to Sweden or someplace in Europe and literally have their blood changed out like it's an oil change in your car, but they're changing out all their blood supply in their body.
Whose blood, right?
Whose
Like,
blood?
that's the
Well,
next question.
the victim's blood, the young blood.
Maybe it's the infants. Maybe they're taking infant blood. Like these people are dark enough to do that. It's so dark.
I think we talked about these.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this one before.
The do-it-yourself genetic experiments. Sorry, I doubled that one.
Biohacktheplanet.com. That sounds horrible. Like with these people biohacking the planet is like the worst idea imaginable.
Peter Thiel, Mr. Transhumanism, right here.
Yeah, that's the island too, right?
Mm-hmm. And so this is this email makes it sound like Peter Thiel was no stranger to Epstein Island. He's like, yeah, they'll meet up sometime in New York City or on the island, like it was a regular thing. Them meeting up, hanging out.
Right there it is, right there. Right.
More Peter Thiel. Yeah, there's the email.
2016. So this is fairly recent, like after his conviction too, after Epstein's conviction.
And when you see J.D. Vance, just literally think Peter Thiel, because that he is literally the puppet of Peter Thiel. J.D. Vance, our vice president.
Right. This is the interesting one where he says, I'm hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has 160 billion in management can do something in tech. So they're trying to put their money to use. It's a huge astronomical sum. Like most of the countries in the world don't even have $10 billion in like GDP, like Somalia is less than their GDP is all the money stolen from the US. That's how stupid and messed up our government is. It's just a total joke. It's like so incompetent and dumb, you just can't even believe how stupid and incompetent it is. It's run by total morons.
Or just totally corrupt. Maybe they're not morons and they're just crooks.
Yeah, they're getting kickbacks. I think that's the whole thing. Is that's why Walt. I don't have any proof of that, but like why these people allowed the NGO fraud is they're getting kickbacks
and political favors. Here, Epstein was trying to create the first designer baby and maybe even human clones within 5 years.
Right, that's it. This is the one that when I first was looking through, I did a show on because they're talking about the future of the human species, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that. I mean, those are pretty intense for like a non-governmental organization to be doing research or talking about that. Like, whoa.
I believe that they're part of Rothschild intelligence network above all government.
Yeah.
This one, surgeon. Oh, that famous Jazz Jennings that popularized transgenderism with the youth. That surgeon was meeting up with Epstein. They also talked a lot about transgender surgery for the youth, for minors, as part of their transhumanism.
Didn't he have an Asian name, if I remember?
Can you tell his name?
I can't remember. It wasn't Brian Bishop. It was something else, but I think that person, Jazz Jennings, detransitioned too.
Did they?
I don't know. I could be wrong. I thought I heard that.
Well, they were famous. They were one of the big faces of transgenderism when they first rolled out that op in the mainstream. Here, let's see. Oh, Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, says the true face of the collective West is pure Satanism. I have a hard time arguing with him, honestly, at this point.
Did we talk about the video of Putin talking about the vampire ball?
No.
Have you seen that? Let me bring that up. Because I think he's right. He's talking about these people. He's talking about the Epstein network. But these people are Satanists. They're like totally evil. Let me get the vampire ball.
More on the transhumanism, arranging to have a bionic penis surgery for a sultan. That's that one sultan, I believe that was he actually stepped down, the CEO. I forget the company's name, but he was talking about torture, bionic penises.
В западных элитах очень сильно желание заморозить существующее положение, несправедливое положение вещей в международных делах. Они привыкли столетиями набивать брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами. Но они должны понять, что бал вампиров заканчивается.
It validates everything in the Epstein files, this jerky and all this stuff. They're literally eating human beings, man. Like, wow. This I don't know the date of this, but it is something else. He probably has better intelligence than anybody in the United States. I would say. I don't know. Just anyway. There's Reed Hoffman. We're at the 2-hour mark. I haven't even touched the comments, guys. I haven't had time.
Reed Hoffman all up in there. This one talking about the jerky.
Right, the jerky.
There's a lot of emails about jerky, and they're obviously talking about human flesh. They've turned into jerky, and they act like they're addicted to it and must have it. That speaks to cannibalism. I think there's one in here where they're actually making jerky, or they're teaching how to make jerky at a restaurant called The Cannibal.
The Cannibal. I think Francis Derby is the chef at The Cannibal.
Mm-hmm.
And it ties into Abramovich and her weird kind of art parties where they're eating human looking cakes and stuff. And it's resonant with truth. This is what she does, blood rituals. And then you go to Crowley and you have the cakes of light, which is human, bodily fluids. And so this all kind of comports, as these people are probably doing the same thing. Infant sacrifice. I posted Crowley and human sacrifice. All these non-Crowley people. References it all the time. Infant sacrifice all the time.
We have a painting that Epstein was attempting to get commissioned with blood and semen in it, speaking to the spirit cooking, the Abramovich. It's all the same. It's all the same depravity and evil.
Serrano was the artist's name, right? Serrano.
I forget. It's in this presentation.
Okay, cool. How many slides you got? Because we're at the 2-hour mark.
It's 90 something.
Okay, let's try to roll through. There's jerky.
More beef jerky. A bunch of beef jerky references here. Or not beef jerky, just jerky.
Good point. So it's not pork jerky or, deer jerky or something like that. It's just jerky.
They all just say jerky. Cooking classes. Right here's cooking classes at The Cannibal to teach jerky preparation. So they're teaching them how to make words. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Harvard professor here, evolutionary theory, just more about the transhumanism. Talking about iLife was a project they were working on.
Wow. And then, do you want me to drop the cheese off? They're always concerned about all this stuff. Hey, you want your jerky, your cheese, or cream cheese on top of this? Walnut sauce or some sauce.
More of that. The cheese, nipple fetish. But I believe you explained it on the last show that we did together. This whole cheese thing.
Yeah, cheese. Yeah.
It's they're getting it from the entrails of infants or babies, and this is a fountain of youth to them.
It seems like it. And the interesting thing about Epstein is he never drank, according to him. He never did drugs or drank his whole life. Which I find interesting. He was very fastidious about his health, but he wasn't in great health. But that's interesting. Cottage cheese left in the door. Get some hard cheese. It's so weird. Why is this redacted? They're just talking about cheese. Why would you redact it? They must have known something when they were doing the redactions.
More of it. Cream cheese, vegetable cream cheese, bagel.
Yeah, there was one line in here where he goes, millions of babies, so little vegetable cream cheese. How does that make sense? This is it. Yeah, this is it.
There you go.
There are millions of babies, so good vegetable cream cheese.
And this is about transhumanism. They're talking about this drone, robotic mosquito you can see right there.
Crazy.
Robo mosquito fly. And I pulled out a quote. You probably don't want to read the whole thing, but from George Orwell, I think he explains it, the mindset of this cult.
Where is it? Is it in the slides?
In the next slide, yeah.
Okay.
Right here, about the abuse and the abuse being sacrificial acts. I think you want me to read it quickly?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is George Orwell, 1984, a dialogue between Winston and the state. How does one man assert his power over another Winston? Winston thought by making him suffer. He said exactly by making him suffer. Obedience is not enough unless he is suffering. How can you be sure that he is obeying your will and not his own? Power is inflicting pain and humiliation. Power is in tearing human minds to pieces and putting them together again in new shapes and of your own choosing. Do you begin to see then what kind of world we are creating? It is the exact opposite of the stupid hedonistic utopias that the old reformers imagined. A world of fear and treachery is torment, a world of trampling and being trampled upon, a world which will grow not less but more merciless as it refines itself. And it goes on, but I think that was the key.
It's interesting. Nobody ever mentions this quote. It's really important. So I'm glad.
I think this speaks to the mindset of these people, William.
All completing pleasures will be destroyed. It kind of feels like they've implemented something like this. It's really crazy. Oh, so this is the guy.
Here's that artwork, yeah.
Yeah, Andre Serrano. Worthy of a museum. There he is, yeah.
Semen and blood and urine are the medium used to create this art by these sickos.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. There's the
flower, the trumpet flowers. The devil's breath, right? It causes short-term memory loss and paralysis and suggestibility. So I believe they're using this devil's breath as a mind control drug.
They knew about it, so I think you're right. Yeah.
Just there's the email about asking about the devil's breath or trumpet plants.
Scopolamine, yep, there it is.
Scopolamine. This one, just more about the torture. Do you want me to do her or just torture her? And that's between Epstein and Italian financier guy.
Right. Yes, master. Yeah, whatever. Lots of toys. And we know like there's other people making testimony or said in testimony that Epstein was into BDSM. So
right there. Her. This is Obama's former attorney at the White House when he was president, and top attorney at Goldman Sachs. She's actually been forced to resign, Kathy Rumler. But she's talking about being part of that, what is it, BDSM or whatever?
Yeah, bondage, domination, sadomasochism.
Yeah. Supposed to get tortured again by my Uber Jew ordontist.
Endodontist. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Professional torture. I don't know, but
I don't know either.
Let's see. What is this one? I can't
It's the same thing. It's just supposed to get tortured again by Uber Jew endodontist. This is the guy. Oh, that's the guy. Magnetic stuff to forget, right? That's the transcranial magnetic stimulation. Wow. Yeah, it's Joy Ito. He had to leave the MIT lab, I think, because of his connection to Epstein.
What was this one? This was
Pint of Mormon blood.
Yeah, more about the blood, about the rituals.
I mean, sometimes you think they're talking in jest, and then you go, well, maybe they're not. Maybe they do want a pint of Mormon blood. They're actually that ghoulish, you know.
An art display, right?
Right, that's in the background, right?
Part of their torture chamber.
Right.
I forget the context of this one.
I think this is one where this is one of the civil legal cases. They're talking about like abuse of girls. This is about CSAM. This is child porn. And I think that's what they're talking about. And they're talking about giving stuff. I forgot what this is, but this is part of the civil litigation that they put out. And I'm not sure they should have. I don't know how it was in these files, but there's like 3 cases within the last 5 years of civil litigation into abuse. So the civil lawyers had enough resources and interest to look into this, but the FBI didn't, which is a huge tell.
Approximately 30 images of girls being shown abused, they say there. This one, a housekeeper went and tried to blow the whistle. Epstein housekeeper claims they took a bunch of data of the child porn stuff and other crimes and tried to give it to the media, and the media laughed.
Yeah, so they're kind of, this is it. Yeah, so this is the civil case. Garbage, where are you? Where are you? We are waiting at the train come. In Hebrew, which is weird.
Mm-hmm. This was a threat to one of the victims to shut her mouth.
Shut her mouth. This is what will happen to you if you talk, so be quiet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was this one? Oh, torturing and abusing. That one's hard to read because it was very small. But
to her, this is their entry room into the thing. Yeah. There's the chessboard. That's also kind of an Illuminati symbol. It's very common. The reason they like the chessboard is because it's a game of like pure
strategy, right?
Yeah, strategy in mind. So there's no risk. So you want to dominate other people with your mind on the playing field. You'll see it used. It's actually in the first Harry Potter things. It's in the Ninth Gate. It's just in a lot of stuff. Like, it's a real thing. This is like, oh god, this one's weird. There's the Lutnick mask and stuff. Can you imagine somebody being abused with all these masks on and stuff?
I believe this is MK Ultra, trauma-based, fear-based mind control went on right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Wearing these masks, putting them in this chair, using what? Nitrous oxide, other drugs.
Right. All right. Oh yeah.
So just a bunch of the creepy masks that were on the wall. This was from like an in-between drop where photos came out, but it wasn't from. I forget exactly even how this came out. Was it DOJ?
I don't know. They did 2 different drops. They dropped one.
This was the first one.
Yeah, in December, and then the most recent one was January 30th.
Yeah, so this was the first drop, is where these images of these creepy masks mounted on the wall around the. And this one, I wasn't 100%, but I was like, yeah. When they talk about a report again, never followed up on. Somebody reported to the tip line that Biden's a fake, and he's a guy wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on this one. I debated about including it. So
they brought out a Biden that was like 6'4". That could not have been Biden.
I remember a bunch of goofy stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's obvious it's not him. Here's the U.S. Secretary of the Navy
Yeah, it's weird. What are you
John
doing?
Flan is on the Epstein flight logs.
Right. So is it a military operation too? Like what's going on? You guys can't ascertain or suss. My understanding is that everybody knew Epstein was up to no good, like amongst that clique. So when they play dumb, they're just lying. Like everybody knew that his tastes, and they may not have known the totality, but they knew he was sketchy. So to be in his presence is like a tell. Like, you're with some guy who's literally a convicted felon. Like I saw all of his, like he had to do like file stuff as a sexual offender like every 6 months and send him to 4 jurisdictions. So all over that time between his conviction in 2008 and his death in 2019, he'd send a set of 4 documents to 4 different jurisdictions every 6 months
To comply as being a sex offender. Yeah.
Correct. And so you just have this record, this massive record of him over and over and over again. What he did, it was clever, is he didn't put it under his standard email. He used a separate email to ship those out. So if you find that email in justice.gov, then you'll see all those documents. Like I have them all, but it's like there's a lot of tells too. It shows all his assets, all his emails, all his social media. Like they're very voluminous. I don't know if he even filled them out. His lawyer probably did it for him, but there's a lot of stuff in there.
Thanks a lot, Dershowitz. There's John Flan, Secretary of the Navy, on the passenger flight manifest. And the next one, I believe, are his donations to Trump. Yeah, down there you could see before he was appointed by Trump, you could see right there, Trump picks John Flan, a businessman with no military experience, to be Secretary of the Navy.
That is so wild. Those are recent donations too. Those are like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so it's like you got in the cult, and now you pay your you do your payoff, and now you're a Secretary of the Navy.
Wow.
And now the most recent report, all the toilets on the USS Lincoln are filling up and causing major problems on that aircraft carrier. I don't know if you saw those reports today.
Right, the toilets don't work.
The sewage is backing up there. Yeah.
This is a weird one because the timing's kind of right. I think Epstein was born in 1953, so this would mean he was 31 years old if he did this. But he's drugging some girl in and out of consciousness, and his face is painted like a clown. Like, wow. That means the darkness went on for decades, guys.
I believe this may be the last one. Maria Farmer image here. Just extremely disturbing. One of the abuse victims.
Red painted walls, cubes, Teflon. I don't know, like Harvey Weinstein. I don't know who these other people are supposed to be depicted as, but is that gore? Like, I don't even know.
And then there's the good news to not black pill, William, on the show. I wanted to wrap up with a good news report. These people at the very least have resigned from their high positions of power throughout the world.
Right.
So we have 17 so far, and I believe, we got to add Mandelson. Well, he's
on here, but arrested, right?
Arrested. So these are just resignations, not criminal charges, but just public shaming, stepping down from their high power positions.
I think the Prime Minister of Norway was arrested, like the former Prime Minister.
Was he arrested today?
No, but within the last week. It wasn't covered very much, but add him to the list. Like, it's just incredible. I called it a global conflagration. Like it is. It truly is. Truly a global. And the other thing is, like, I'm looking from one angle and trying to find, maybe you have different things you're interested in. But imagine somebody from Slovakia or France. They're just looking for people from France and still finding people. Jack Lang is like, I don't know. He'd be like their
and his daughter too.
Right.
Carolyn Lang, a family affair of trafficking and abuse.
he would be like Bannon. He'd be like our Bannon, like somebody who's in the culture and
There you go. Yeah.
politically influential and stuff like that. So, it's just happening all over.
Yeah. Honestly, like you say, I don't know these other countries. I don't know their culture. Like, I wouldn't even know Savelle. Like, people, you never heard of Jimmy Savile before because you're not in the UK. If you're in the UK, you would know him as a household name like Dick Clark. We know here in America, American Bandstand, Dick Clark, America's DJ, right? And so that's the same, but we don't know in these countries unless you live there and you're from that culture. You don't know if, as an American, I admit, I don't know, but they do know, right? And so they know the significance in their country and their culture of a lot of these names. It goes right over my head because I don't know, but they know. Like it probably goes over their head. A lot of people over here, they're like, Bannon, Steve Bannon, who's that? You know what I mean? But we know who he is.
Just in the news all the time. So, but yeah, I think he covered up all the stuff. We had 275 live listeners. Thanks everybody for listening. I wish I had time to go through all the comments. I mean, it's just going so fast. It's spinning so fast. It's hard for me to even keep up. But like, I don't even, it would take me an hour to go through all the comments. So, thanks for all the great slides. I mean, it's just an incredible story. It still boggles the mind. Like, I'm still mind blown at the enormity of it. And this is your website, right? Weaponizednews.com, right, Sam?
Weaponizednews.com. Yeah, I haven't been updating very much on the website, but yeah, live stream. Check out weaponizednews.com 5 days a week. Live stream on every platform: YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble. Every streaming platform out there, you'll find us. 5 p.m. Pacific. We go live Monday through Friday there.
Yeah, check it out, guys. You have a bunch of interesting guests, different guests than on my, catalog, and you see all your social medias there. So I'll put a link to this, the website. And is there anything else you'd like to add or anything I missed before we wrap it up? I think
that's it. Just give us the like, share, subscribe, push that notification button, buy some of William's books. Go to weaponizednews.com, check out our store, check out William's store. Because we are true independents out here, and every little bit helps, and the shares really help to break through the censorship algorithms out there that I'm sure our accounts are tagged with.
No question.
Going over this we're calling out. We're saying your government is pure evil here now, right? And they don't want us saying this. And connecting all the dots and giving you the case numbers and giving you this whole big report. They don't want this. So it's definitely shadow banned. May just be deleted before you know it. So appreciate the work that William and I are doing. Truly.
Yeah, 100%. Go check out Weaponized News, guys. Check out the website.
And real quick, William, this is my second rodeo on the internet. I was literally deleted off of the internet for reporting on the whole bat debacle and the COVID protocols in the hospitals and warning people about taking the miracle. And so I literally got deleted off the internet for that. And I was 100% correct on all my reporting on that. And that's why they deleted me. Right.
You had 100%, 1,000% batting ratio. Like, you're right about all the dangers. Like, whoa, don't do this. Don't take the certain pills or protocols or anything. Like, you keyed into the whole breathing apparatus stuff and all. These were all just meant to end human life. These people are anti-life. They're vampires. They're totally evil people. So they've all been exposed, and they're not. The thing is that they could have come forward in the past and said, "Hey guys, I got to warn you about something," or "I've got some misgivings." I never heard any of that, so I think that the fact that these emails came out and exposed them are very important. So sharing it, like you said, is really important. Sharing is caring. If you have social media, you think this is important, would do somebody else some good to understand. Some people, I know people in my own family who just would never listen to this, but maybe it would do good to some people. I know that this information is kind of burning up through the grapevine, but still, if you have time to share. And thanks for all the comments. I really just didn't have time to go through it, guys. I was just listening to Sam and trying to, follow along. But Sam, thanks so much for your time. It's Sam Chaney, Chaney. And again, it's Weaponized News. And I'll put all links in the show notes. So thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, William.
All right, stay there.